Hey. It's your market Tuesday. Me bags. Let's turn the music off there. We're just too funky. We're over here talking about gold going from $120 down to 84. Hey GP, what's the sweet spot for oil? It's like $70, right? $75 a barrel.
Yeah, it's about 60 something to about 75 ish.
Yeah. So after all that scare that we saw yesterday morning, and today's Tuesday, so Monday, we're almost right back where we are. It's your boy Bags. We got Jeff Di. Welcome back, Nicholas. We're so glad you're feeling some better, and of course, all of our brother from another, G Pisa. Hey, boys.
What's going on?
What's going on?
I just got to say, last week's conversation with Riley, I thought
that was awesome.
Yeah, you guys know I love learning new things, and especially about things that I'm not familiar with. And I just thought that was awesome. So shout out to Riley for hopping on. Can't wait to have him back in the near term future. But Nick, you were saying something was going on with the Qs. Hey, your upside down, your inverted triangle is holding up like a champ. I know that.
Yeah, I mean we're still in the range. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Considering it looks like it'll be 1, 2, 3, kind of a fourth attempt in this kind of like recent consolidation to take out that 595, and each time we keep getting bought up. That's
say those words again. Say those last words again.
It keeps getting bought up off of
that's right. What are we seeing? Buyers in the bottom of the range.
All I know, right, is I mean, we're in week 26, 27 now, Nick.
27.
This is week 27, and I'm still not bullish enough. But hey, I'm fully deployed right now. But GP though, you were talking about the futures and what happened Sunday night, and I'm presuming the Qs. And you just kind of gave it a yawn. Why did you give that a yawn?
Bottom of the range, didn't break. All this power, we've talked about this over and over again. The amount of power they need to deploy to just get it to the bottom of the range and not break it is monumental. And Nick just touched on it, saying buyers show up. And so if you cannot break something with that kind of volume, with all these news headlines, the inverse correlation of that is goodbye shorts.
It has to go the other way, right? It has to.
It doesn't have to. It can just stay range bound.
Come on.
I get that, but that is something so far technical. Like, to me, it's been technicals the whole time. A lot of people bought puts, they brought the markets down, right? A lot of people buy puts, they brought the markets down, but they can't get those same puts to money. If you bought anything that was way out of the money and you're still holding, thinking there's an apocalypse coming or oil is going to destroy everything, you're pretty much red on all of those. Maybe if you're short-term trading, 0 DTE, 1 DTE, stuff like that, sure, you're monetizing your puts. But anyone who bought protection on their portfolio in vast amounts, you're eating it, right? You're eating it on the decay, you're eating it on everything. So what that does is the puts monetize themselves, and you can get a reflexive rally to potentially take out all-time highs, which I think is going to happen here just based on how things are behaving. And then you can see the rug pull. That's always a possibility. But you're going to have something monumental, in my opinion, to get this to dislodge either way, right?
I think that's an outstanding point, GP. I've never been the biggest hedger in my portfolio. But just like shorting in the hole, why do you short a range that isn't showing signs of a break, right? Like you at least need to have a break to the upside or the downside to have ultimate conviction in that hedge working off for you, or you're just wasting money.
Yep.
Nick kind of gave me the side eye. What, you disagree, Nick?
No, I just I don't know. The way that I generally approach hedging is day trading, like the Qs or the SPYs. So as of recently, I've punched with like the TQs or
Yeah.
a levered
SQs.
ETF.
Yep.
But from like it's almost like I don't know. You're just, if you're looking at the Qs in where they're at currently, you're only looking to really hedge in points of extreme. So like, you can see that we couldn't, buyers couldn't push us through the 614, 615, right? So when we were talking about the Qs back then a couple of weeks ago, we had talked about it being the 50% retracement within the recent kind of sell-off. If you were of the position that like we're literally just going to stay stuck in this range, that would have been the first area that you would have been looking on to kind of short kind of a bounce higher. And then same thing, like you would have been banking on it probably failing as we retested it was it last week or the week before. Like you're just playing the points of extreme generally. So I don't know. I'm not even one to really hold hedges overnight unless, I've tried and some have worked out, some have not. It's just kind of whatever.
Yes, GP, to answer your question, Oracle earnings is tomorrow. Yeah, no, Nick, I'm with you. Like, I think there is time to hedge, and I'm much like you. I would rather go with an inverse ETF or a leveraged ETF than potentially buying the puts or the calls. And on the other hand, that could just end up getting eaten up. Right? At least I can hold on to, if I had to, in a range situation, I can hold on to those ETFs a little bit longer than the decay on the options. Oh, yeah. Oracle's today, GP. Oh my, thank you, Jerry. Jerry Matthew with the save. Looked at the wrong thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a 0 on my trading view. So that means it's today. Unless trading view's wrong.
310 after market close.
So there we go. Hi, Florence. Welcome to the show. And hey, chat, as always, we love that you're here. Thank you so much for joining. I feel like there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start, Nick. You mentioned IGV, which is something that is near and dear to my heart with ServiceNow. But with Oracle reporting, Randy's talking about Palantir. We haven't looked at old Palantir in a while.
I just, I kind of thought with, if we can hold today's low, I think technically it would look really good. Especially looking at like your ServiceNow, kind of the pull into that 10 and the 20 day there. What do you got? Oh, Palantir.
Yeah, it's Palantir on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's Palantir, kind of the same thing. Like if you could just, if it could hold like the 146 to kind of 148, I think it would look really good right there.
Yep. And that aligns with the 50 weekly SMAs you see right there. Let's go take a peek at old ServiceNow. Glad it caught. Look at that bar last week, 15%. That was pretty nice. Pretty nice. That got your boy nearly close to break even on the position. So I'm happy with that. This week we've given some of that back, which is expected. They had a nice investor call or presentation last week that I guess excited some folks. I don't know. I was looking at the semiconductors, GP, and we're finally had some pullback last week with everything else, but this week right back.
Yep.
Don't we love a market led by semis?
I don't.
Oh,
I'd rather be everything, right? That's kind of my, like, the fact that semis are up and software is down. We're still in this gotta sell software based on AI crap, and it's just like, guys, I understand there's finite money, but it's okay to let everything go up, right? Like as Randy said in the chat, is dragging his portfolio down, right? There's no reason for Microsoft to be down today. None whatsoever. And then tomorrow, if Oracle reports and has a pop, which, by the way, the Oracle 200 SMA is at 220. So if it does pop and it's up 30-40% tomorrow into that 200 SMA, don't be surprised, right? Like the beatdowns in these names across the board. You have Microsoft that's sitting 20% below the 200 SMA, daily SMA, not weekly or whatever, daily SMA. You have Oracle sitting 80 points below. I think NVIDIA is sitting right at the 200 SMA. I just don't need this bifurcated market. That's what's annoying to me, is like, I want to see the day where semis and software just get along.
Just hold hands and go for a nice walk. Have a picnic underneath a tree on a nice green park lawn, right? Just everybody gets along, kumbaya.
What's your take on the XLE, where we're at?
I don't look at it. It's for the first time gonna break the 9 SMA that it's been riding up since the beginning of the year. Maybe it behaves like IWM and retest the breakout. It's a possibility, sure. Which is probably healthy, right? Give us a 10-15% correction and go higher.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do you think we're gonna, even if we do pull in, do you think we're legging higher out of here at some point?
I think overall we're legging higher. Unless you're Tesla. Tesla will never go past 402 and between 381 and 402.
Where do you think the low in the XLE is? Like that 53?
XLE?
Yeah.
Everything goes past whatever range I have because they just love max pain. So I wouldn't be surprised if it came down to 48.
Okay. So right. Kind of a retest of that. Yeah.
It's the 9-month moving average, 48, right? So yeah, it's also the range highs, all this stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised. The 9-month is rising, so it can rise up higher over time, but it's okay. I think you need oil to calm down so these guys can execute, because it's CVX and ExxonMobil that make up 50% of the XLE, I believe, or 49% of the XLE. So CVX for these guys, really what's that?
I think CVX looks really good.
And I saw rumors that CVX can increase production by 80%, even with all the stuff that's going on. So they should weather the storm pretty well. But what happens if oil continues rising? Because oil is rising in the Middle East, but the gas prices went up like 3 days before oil even went nuts, right? Like gas, these retail guys want to continue to make money off the misery of the world. Happens every time oil pops, which is, gasoline prices spike 50, 60, 70%. And you're like, wait, you store oil and gas in your thing for like at least a couple of weeks. Like, how are you already pricing it higher, right? So
yeah.
Hey, Nick, I don't trade the XLE, but if I were looking to get into this, and I love when stuff goes on discount, I would probably look around this 53, 52 mark for my first buy, because you have the weekly 9 there. But if I go back to the daily, that 50 daily is down here at 52. So somewhere between 52 and 53 would be my first opportunity, I think, to try it. And then I would just buy down to 48 where GP's saying. I think it's probably going to hold 51. So I might do like a 53, 51, gets me about half deployed. And then if it retested that 48, that's where I would probably throw the rest. But that's just a guess. I trade this like shit, but just looking at the chart, that's probably how I would do it. Randy says small defense stuff like NPK, National Presto. Wow, Randy is always dropping gems on us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it does look good. All those look good.
Yeah. Came out of that situation to go higher. I don't even know that I would wait on a retest back to 138. That looks pretty good, Randy. DRS. Are we going Formula One now with DRS? No, we are not. Leonardo DRS. That's been in a hell of a uptrend. The all-time chart doesn't look fantastic, but you guys got a take on DRS here?
Yeah, I like it a lot too.
It's been a fucking burner.
Yeah. I think I'd be a buyer all the way like down to 43, and then also be looking to buy on strength versus the high. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that looks great. And Mercy.
John, I got an S on DK.
Mercy.
Mercury. Oh, DRS is one of those IPO names without a base. I don't like that stuff.
Oh, GB.
Dude, look at a lot of the names without a base, right? I think Reddit is one of them.
Reddit is one of them.
Right? No IPO base. And what did it do, right? It looked good. It looked like it was going to break out and then failed. So it was essentially a double top. So as much as it looks good right this moment, I'd be worried that there's no base there. And maybe DRS doesn't need a base and it just goes nuts and it doesn't care or anything at all. But this is me, right? It's gone from $9 straight up to 50. So 5.5x in 2 years, and it can continue going. It's not my world. Good luck, Randy.
SanDisk is always Mr. Hardo since September, basically. GP, you like this here? I mean, I could be the bear and say that looks really rollovery, and you might get an inverse cup and handle here, but it's been on the move nonstop.
All these parabolas have kind of almost ended the same. Like if you pull up EWY, South Korea.
Yeah, man.
Right? All these parabolas look the same. Look at silver. Now pull up SLV. Right? Like these parabolas are not breaking down, which is good, but I think they're just trying to find their base. Not just SLV. Look at GLD. Look at EWJ.
EWJ. Japan.
Yeah. Right. So all these kind of like extended moves that they've been doing to names since, I don't know, the last 6 months in this chop are all looking the same. But if I was looking in the if you were looking in the space of memory, the one that stands out to me over the others is actually GLW.
Yeah. There's been a lot of people all over that.
GLW? Corning is in memory?
Yep.
I did not know that.
So, like, you got to keep risk tight with all these names with the massive moves that they've had. And so I don't like that personally. If to me, this is gambling, right? Buying up here. This is not putting in high probability stuff. This is gambling, hoping the move can continue higher. It's gone from 32 to 160 or 170 in like less than a year. You're taking it on. You can keep tight risk, but ultimately it's gambling. So that it just doesn't follow my world.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's just a momentum trade.
Yeah, it's like RGTI, right? I traded RGTI when the first breakout happened, but not when RGT went. They make zero revenue, right? Like, and these
Speaking of quantum, they actually don't look that bad right now.
I'm not touching any of those things because once the momentum guys on these zero company names, it's really hard to recover that momentum. People move elsewhere, right?
Sure.
So you can get pops and drops and stuff like that here, but it's not. Look at HIMS, right? We talk about Trump being a taco. Talk about Novo Nordisk being a taco fucking master. Like for months and months and months, they've destroyed the price of HIMS with their lawsuits. And then over the weekend, they decide, you know what, screw it. We're just going to partner with them. And HIMS is
Corning doesn't make memory. I didn't think they did. They make the materials to help make things in the semiconductor, but they don't make memory themselves.
Yeah, but I think it's a big component of the memory piece, right? It's
they're a supplier.
Yes. And so, but it's the picks and shovels play, right?
Yes, it is. It is in the AI infra. Yeah, it is. It sure is. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get sidetracked. You want to talk about HIMS? I mean, what a big pop, and now womp 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 womp, right back down into the lower part of the range. I'm not saying that I'm happy that HIMS is down here, but I mean, I've said it before. They're a reseller, and it's retail at the end of the day. They're direct to consumer retail. So who can't disrupt them? But go ahead.
They're not expensive, right? So
not as much as they were, that's for sure.
They still weren't that expensive, right? Just because the price is down doesn't mean it's expensive even at the highs. It was more expensive then for sure. But yeah, it's I like it overall. And so, but what I'm saying is everyone is tacoing. These guys went from being in the courts and suing HIMS to dropping all lawsuits and partnering with them. So it's like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And that tells you a lot about if everyone can disrupt the space, why would Novo Nordisk choose HIMS as a partner?
More money.
Or value. They see the value in it, right?
Well, you're going to get value from more money that you bring in, right?
I mean, there's already 10 different players in this space. Why not choose one of them?
I don't know.
And they're in the private market, so you don't have to overpay or do anything.
I'm not on the board of Novo Nordisk, so I can't pretend to know these answers. But obviously, they saw that this was a more economical benefit for them than continuing with the lawsuit. So
yeah, and the reach is better, right? That's the point, right? So sure. A lot of people can make disruptors, but how many can actually penetrate?
Hey Nick, you were in HIMS on this giant ride up. Any desire to get back in? And if so, where?
Yeah, so I kind of like the island that it put in, especially on the weekly, and then the kind of the pop along above the long term. What is it? The 4-year, the 200 period on the weekly. I would use. I'm not like super hyped to get involved with it right now, but I'll likely be setting alerts at the highs and lows of this week's candle. If I got a chance at the low, I might maybe throw a starter on. I want to see. I really want to see price kind of climb above 23, 24 bucks and hold, because that's the low of the prior range. And if we can kind of at least reclaim that, I think there's a chance that we at least head back to kind of like the mid 40s. And then obviously if we can kind of, maybe base out, absorb some of the selling up as we get up there, retest kind of the highs of the prior range. But
regardless, anybody who's bought within the last 3 to 4 weeks is loving it. So
yeah, I mean, it's not it's a bumpy ride. It's certainly not a pretty or easy trade for sure. Even if you did, I guess if you caught the kind of igniter candle, when was that, last Monday? It got put on your radar when we had that huge igniter. Like I could have understood like throwing on a starter there just to, again, as a momentum trade, not as like this is about my belief in the company.
If you bought it at 19, you'll love it at 15. Buy it up.
Nick, it's the same zone from 2 years ago when I talked about it in terms of
Yeah.
it's probably a great buy, right?
It was.
And literally the same
Yes.
exact thing happened. So at some point there's value in these names. There's no real debt to it. I think they're valued at maybe 1 or 2 times sales, and they're growing at 30-40% clips year over year. And if GLP adds back to it, then it's a cheap company ultimately. So it's also heavily shorted. So whatever rate, a lot of these pops, so like from a technical perspective, TTD is in the same camp, right? They pop to the 50-day, they get slapped, then they come back and retest the 9-day, and then they go, right? It's been, if you watch technicals, it's happened so many times over and over. It's not like a pattern that if you go to a CMT tells you this is what you should do, but this is observation. And when you see names that pop over the 50-day, like RIVN today,
did it?
They sold into it, but
they sold into it, but it popped over the 50. So these are stronger setups, right? And so you now see the 50-day curling back up.
Yeah, that's looking good, actually. I was expecting something in the lower 14s and 13s again. I was expecting a retest somewhere closer to this trend line, but that looks much better.
Yeah, Rivian looks, to me, Rivian's it's on the verge of its Tesla moment. It's just not happening yet. And so I don't know if pricing this week helps with that, or their first delivery helps with that. I don't know the time frame of when Rivian's going to go, but Rivian is not expensive.
I've been seeing a lot of them on the road up here.
Yep.
God, they're really good looking trucks.
They're solidly made, but they lose money. But if they go into mass production, the loss of money changes, and ultimately they move towards profitability, which is what caused Tesla's 2019 gap and go for a 20xer, right? I'm not saying Rivian's going to get there, but Rivian sits at, I think, a $10 billion or $12 billion valuation. When you have Tesla, the biggest player in the space, sitting at a $1.5 trillion valuation, that doesn't seem that expensive to me.
Yeah, thanks for that, VPA. Rivian got a buy recommendation today from TD Cowen, so there you go.
21 billion market cap. My bad.
Yeah, there you go. I got breaking news. I just closed my Cloudflare position while we were talking. I had a stop set on the upside. So it hurt to let it go. One of my biggest winners ever, from a $20 stock to a $200 stock. So more cash in the bank. But sorry to see you go, Cloudflare, but you're gone.
I think
if you are looking to replace Cloudflare, may I suggest Unity Software?
You may suggest it, but I am not going to buy it.
You son of a gun. Anyway, this looks great. This reminds me of Wayfair. Last year when Wayfair hit like 19 and then went on to 120.
Yeah, I like Unity Software a lot. I like the look of it. I shouldn't say I like it a lot. I haven't been in this name in years. But my next buy is going to be 2. Should I go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do with the money that I just cleared out of Cloudflare?
One second. Is that cool? So all of these setups in software, I know you're in a lot of software, are those quick and vicious retests of bases, and these quick and vicious retests of bases could be massive. So net could still work, by the way.
I have Synopsys, who's software / semiconductor, and I have ServiceNow, and no longer net. I want to do GME.
Is GME a software name?
No, they are a retailer. No. After our conversation, GP, this might get a smile from you. After our conversation last week with Riley, similar to other speculative positions that I've been in, I really like Black Sky.
Nice.
And I had a alert set for 23, and I got it yesterday. So I'm already in. I'm already long. So Black Sky from 23. I'm looking to add more there. If we get a range break, I'll probably continue adding to it to the upside. But here's the name that I think's probably going to surprise you both. You ready?
Oh, I am.
Because I'm a super genius, and you guys know how involved I am in the AI infrastructure build out. Well, there's only one name that I don't have to sort of capitalize on my whole stack.
Dell?
CoreWeave.
Oh, yeah.
CoreWeave.
like
Brad
CoreWeave a lot.
Gerstner and Altimeter took it from no position to number 9 overall in their entire portfolio last quarter. So they were buying all this down here in the 60s and low 70s. So I'm already betting on AI winning, right? I'm already betting on everything that makes the machine go. Why am I not betting in who's building these things? So there you go. CoreWeave. That will be what I purchased soon to go along with my Black Sky. There you go.
You're in good company because NVIDIA is buying too, right, Jensen?
Yes, Jensen put in. I think he bought right around the same area, 73 or 74. So yeah, I like it. I'll pull up my chart actually, as opposed to this one, because I'm a scientist. I'm a super genius. Here you go. It's messy, Nick. You'll love it. But these are the waves, right? And there is what I'm calling the base, right? There's the trend line. I love a good convergence. Bang, we got it. So I'm going to see if we faff around in this wedge just a little bit first. And why am I doing that? Because they have a lawsuit coming up that we should know something about next week. We also have Synopsys and NVIDIA with investor showcases next week. So I'm expecting some fireworks. Could be wrong, but that's the way I'm betting it.
You know what you're gonna that's a good looking. I can see it. There's a bit.
Oh, you want me to go back to CoreWeave for a second? I'll flash it back up there.
Hey, GP. Actually, I'll ask you after you finish talking. Whatever you're gonna.
No,
I was just gonna say the other surprise to me is actually Amazon looking pretty damn good.
Yeah. This is purple line's the all-time trend line, and what did it do? It checked back and went. It held.
Yeah.
So,
and it's got that island look, Nick. That island.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say it's the all-time trend line, guys, like it is the all-time fucking trend line. I'm not just
Amazon looks really good.
Not making stuff up. That doesn't mean it can't break it, of course, but I would rather bet there than somewhere else. So there you go. There you go. That's what I'm doing. The rest of the show is yours.
Dude, Circle. Yep. What a animal.
That's pretty impressive.
Dude, I'll tell you a true story. I bought Circle for myself and for my dad, and my dad has a longer time horizon, and I'm more of a trader. So I took off Circle before earnings, and I held it for him. And he's having his last laugh as always. So, because I think I got in around like 62 or 63 for him. So
it looks great.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal.
You love
this thing is, and this is happening while crypto is doing, it's flatlining, right? So if crypto starts to pump, this can be a very nice return for him.
I was telling Nick before the show, right before we came live, I think we're going to have another retest of this area. So don't get your panties too much in a bunch until it clears. Let's just call it 74. 73, 74 is probably going to be a battle zone unless it just pushes directly through it. At least that's my expectation. GP, you were saying that there's no buyers and volume's weak, right? Because of the apathy. But all it takes is a little spark to start a flame, Nick. That's all it takes.
Yeah, talk about a wet fucking blanket. crypto.
You know, the other one that looks pretty good is DocN.
Yeah.
It continues to shine while software is getting beat today, and it continues to shine.
Check out Honeywell.
I think we talked about this last week, right? With Riley.
We did.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, I like Honeywell. It's got a massive base and it's just starting to break out, right? So,
well, just talking with Riley though, I mean, about all the different things, whether they were, a couple of the things that he showed us weren't public yet, and I mean, if I think AI is going to continue on the trend that it's on, of course we're going to have more flying things, right? Of course we're going to have drones and flying vehicles, because we, in essence, are going to get smarter from the machines helping us do this shit. So I just see it as an exponential curve up in a lot of these areas.
yeah. I love the
lows are
medical
in, is what you're saying.
application of all this stuff. Like the medical application, like if someone's having a stroke, and you can send a drone to pick them up and get them situated and back to the hospital, and it saves that time and reduces all the sirens from the ambulances. There's so many awesome medical benefits to this space. So hopefully they continue pushing, and regulation gets on board as well, because it can help us Americans take care of our parents, help us take care of ourselves when we get older. It gives us more independence. So I love that aspect of all this stuff is the real world, real impact implications.
Well, let's just think practically, right? Like there's a lot of folks out there who have loved ones who are battling dementia or Alzheimer's, right? And unfortunately, these people still grab keys to their cars and go for a ride, right? And I'm not even going the autonomous driving situation, right? But I have an AirTag in my parents' car just so I can know around about where they're at. We could have drones, right? Go find them, as opposed to me looking everywhere by myself to figure out where a lost parent or loved one is. Anyway, that's just a practical application that I think that we're going to see, at least in my kid's lifetime, if not sooner than that.
Totally,
because we're old. Chewy. Florence wants us to look at Chewy. I haven't looked at Chewy in I don't know how long.
I haven't either. I was just
Hi, Florence. Florence is from my group.
Hi, Florence. Welcome, Florence. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of GP's group.
I kind of like the weekly. Wow. Actually.
Florence, I could make a case. I'm interested to hear what GP and Nick have to say, but I could make a case.
Yeah, for sure.
Against 25-24, right? So your risk is 3%. That's it. That's as simple as that. If you go to the pivot high from 2023, that December pivot high that had a lot of volume those 3 weeks, it's basically holding that back test, which is where we back tested in July 2024. So 2025 level got to hold.
Yeah, I would exactly look at it that way, GP. And that's depending if I'm looking at this as a trade or investment. This is exactly how I would trade that. That would be my stop down below the low. I would probably lighten up somewhere in this war zone here a little bit. And then I would hold a moon bag to the top of the range. That's how I would do it. Nick?
Yeah. I hadn't looked at it in a while too. I just posted a chart on StockTwits. I like kind of where it's like sitting right now, at least on the weekly. It looks like a gigantic, inverse head and shoulders. If you were putting on a starter, here, I'd be looking for those longer term moving averages to get recaptured and start to curl back up. Otherwise, you're going to get caught in probably dead money, because it could just very well turn into a $20 to $50 range, like big stage one base. It's really got to get above like 48, 49, 50 to kind of prove that this isn't going to be just a stage one, continued base building. It does look like it's got kind of a descending wedge built out, though, that it broke out of like, what was that? Last July, or actually the year, no, that was July 2024. Kind of broke out of the descending wedge back then. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I like it. I just think it's a total waste of time. I think you at least have a trade back to 48, 50, but the real trade starts when 50 gets busted, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, Nick, because you're going to have it's going to be a struggle retaking and repairing all the. We're on the weekly time frame here, and you're below all four moving averages. But again, I can make a case that over time, again, I can't speak for Florence, but if I were starting a position here, I would probably lighten up somewhere in this area, right? And if you can't get past 34, then you're not getting 45. Anyway.
I think the problem with it's not expensive by any means either. The problem with Chewy is, but this is like your RIVN, right?
Amazon's the problem with Chewy.
Yeah, but you're at the bottom of the base, so your opportunities to make money here grow versus being at the top of the base and hoping that it breaks out, right? A lot of these names, as we've talked about over the last few years, they're just stuck in bases for the most part. And so you're buying closer to the bottom of the base than you are to the top of the base. So you can at least get a potential trade up to the mid 30s. But I just don't know if you could hold this stuff, right? Because it hasn't shown you that character change.
I feel that. Speaking of Amazon, you brought up Amazon a minute ago. I was talking with a friend just yesterday about Amazon, and he was like, why do I want to buy a retailer? You don't like retail? And I was like, well, Amazon's not a retailer, right? It's AWS. That's what you're buying for. And the more he and I talked, the more I was like, what if Amazon wants to have to spin off AWS, right? Like a reverse IBM Red Hat move here. All the high growth stuff goes with AWS, and we allow whatever we call the storefront to just be like, it's whatever. That was an interesting thought to me. But I'm not saying that they want it to happen. I was just like, what if they kind of did want to be broken up? What if they did decide to spin it off? That would be interesting to see.
Which part are they going to spin off? AWS?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would unlock a lot of value for shareholders ultimately. You see what GE did after they sold every business that they own, and they have no businesses to own themselves.
Yeah.
Right. GE finally broke a 24-year downtrend after that.
I'm not saying it's a well thought out thesis, but I was like, if all the juice is in this area, why don't you just
QNDD?
Yeah.
Dude, look, you can make the argument for Google too, right? They should. Google's YouTube. What's that?
Gotcha. Google. You're saying Google?
Yeah. I said Google. You can make the same argument. Their YouTube business probably generates more than Netflix as an entire company, right?
VPA makes a great point. There's a lot of synergies, and I agree. I'm not saying this was fully thought out. I was just like, there might be more juice if you decide to split up. But that was a great point by VPA. Nick, anything you're looking at particularly?
I don't know. My attention's kind of scattered all over the place. I'm not looking at, I don't know, getting super, honestly, really concentrated. I'm only, putting probably small starters on. You know what I along with IGV. I like the look of our rubric RBRK. Beaten down name, back to the lows of the prior range, kind of spiked that 48, kind of that pivot low, and
Is
then
this
it got
one of those
bought up.
quantum companies, Nick? Is this quantum?
No, RBRK is cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. Okay.
Yeah. Because I like net and I like net a lot here. And I also like crowd. I think crowd has the potential to kind of V out of here as well.
Remember I said not quite time, Nick, for cybersecurity? I don't know,
Yeah.
about a month ago.
Yeah.
I think it's time for cybersecurity.
I mean, I just think, I don't know. I love how net, it had a floor there at 180, and it really just has been kind of flirting with that, with that pivot there. Fuck, I don't know. I meant to look up Datadog, but
I think, yeah, I don't agree with you. I don't disagree with you, Nick. I think net still has some room to move. I think we do have an issue up here at 220 when we ultimately get there.
Sure.
This is a classic overshoot, as you can see in the chart history. It loves to do, and then settle down and sort of settle in. So we'll see. I hope it doesn't take to the end, closer to the end of this range box for it to play out. But as you can see, it's already done this 2 times in the past, and this would be number 3. So I don't know. I love the company. For me, again, most of my shares have been gone, so that's the reason for my sale today. It's not because I don't like the company, but I don't have enough meat on the bone left for the stake, the position I have. So it's better somewhere else, more speculative. It looks great though. I mean, I think you still probably got another 10 points at least. Crowd, my massive stink bid 300. Oh, thoughts on NVIDIA from Stock Dippy Daddy? Anybody want to tackle NVIDIA?
I mean, I'm in it and I like it. It's just in a range. I still think it's heading after that 300.
It's the buy 170s, sell the 190s until it's not, right?
Yeah. Speaking of NVIDIA,
wait, are we just going to ignore the fact that everyone was talking about NVIDIA crashing until Sunday night or Monday afternoon? Everyone, not us.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to everyone. That served me well, GP. So I see some of the comments over on I called it fin twitches yesterday because snitches get stitches, and they're a bunch of bitches. But I'll stop my MF Doom rhyming and just go with I don't go with the crowd. You guys know me well enough to know that I don't just fit in with what everybody else is doing. I don't think that's smart. If I want to just buy the Qs or the index in, which there's nothing wrong with that, you can expect market perform returns. So sorry, I didn't mean to filibuster, but no, I didn't see everyone talking about NVIDIA is going to die.
Yeah, everyone was pretty sure that it's a head and shoulders and it's going to break down, which is going to cause the market to break down, and everything's going to go to zero, and then they will buy it because that's the right price for everything. The same stuff that we hear all the time.
The royal we, as John says.
Yeah.
Or is it the royal wee wee? You see what I did there? I'm on my pun game today. Gosh, we've already gone 50 minutes. See, this has been a good show. I love it when we're all a little more optimistic than
it's only over. Because we're at the low end of the range.
it's fucking over.
But it has been over. I don't mean that in a bad way, but last couple of weeks have been pretty bad. And until Sunday night or yesterday afternoon with the Trump taco, we're just at the bottom of the range, right?
Has anybody AI mixed like because he loves YMCA at his rallies and stuff, or Macho Man? I don't know. It's something by the Village People, but they should do Taco Man. I don't want to get sued, but you guys can see where it goes. I'll be a Taco Man anyway.
Jump off the wrestling match.
Someone create that in AI. VPA, I'm challenging you. I'm requesting that video and song on AI. Riley mentioned UFO and good. Did he? I don't think he mentioned good. Gladstone. Did he mention Gladstone? Don't remember that.
I don't. Not in our conversations.
I do know Gladstone pays a monthly dividend, but I mean, it's way down there. UFO, I think, was one though, maybe. And DRNZ was the one, the drone ETF, Rex drone ETF. That doesn't look bad at all. What else? He had another one. I wrote them down. I was like, this is good shit. I'm writing this down. Jedi was the other one.
Yeah. I have Jedi on my watch list. I think Randy put that one on my list.
Joby had some news. It got the pop and the fade. Is this just the type of market we're in, popping and fading, like popping and locking?
You know,
yeah. What's that?
Tempest
AI. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It won't get past 75, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I can see like a $70 bid there, $71 bid.
It has rejected 75 for the last year and a half, like without fail. Every single moment is tried to push above. So I got it on as a trade. The risk was $1 down and 25 up. That to me, I'll take any day. I am not a long-term holder of this until it takes out and clears 75 on a basis that's more than 3 days. The other one that looks good to me is, by the way, all of software is starting to pick up into the Oracle earnings, except for Microsoft. CRM was down $8 for no reason this morning. I don't know why. It's only down $2 now. So the faster we get to this everything up market that I have forecasted in my thoughts, the better everyone will be and less miserable everyone will be, because everyone will get to participate. I think that's what creates bears, right? They're like, oh, look at Microsoft, it's up 500%, but my Clorox is down 20%, right? But if everything goes up, there'll be less miserable bears. At least that's my hope for the world.
Everything up except for the Bears portfolio.
I think bears are just upset bulls.
You know, I'm okay with bears making money. Like it takes both sides to make a market, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you need both.
Goodbye, oil. There's a gap to fill at 67. Thanks for playing.
Hey, Nick, I always look at you for quantum names. I'm not interested in playing them recently, but they haven't been trending. Anything in that space that you're looking at?
IONQ and Rigatoni are the two that kind of stand out. I like, if I was gonna play one, it would probably be IONQ. Not the prettiest setup, there's better looking trades out there. I think you could probably set an alert at like 48, 49 and ignore it till then. Kind of see how it behaves as it, pushes up into the 200-day. Maybe kind of builds out like an inverse head and shoulders or something up here. At least that way, you know that it kind of definitively broke out of this downward channel that it's kind of built. Yeah, they all kind of look the same though. They all kind of look like they had a nice pop, and then prices kind of just curling along the 10 and the 20. Again, like there's better looking setups out there.
Yes.
It's just you could probably set some alerts on these things and catch a move one way or the other, if you were so inclined.
If you were, you know, that actually looks pretty good right there. I'm just doing my scientist thing. We got 3 minutes left. Holy cow, the time has gone by. Yeah, some work to do on rigatoni. I know that's one of GP's most loved names, so I'll just leave that one there.
I mean, the funny thing about it is even long-term holders are still in like a monumental winner. You know, anybody that was buying this thing when it was like around $1, you know, is when a lot of people were kind of buying it in that dollar range. They're still doing significantly better just buying and holding this thing than the amount of people that, you know, just wanted a top to be in on these things because they're, you know, stupid or don't make money or whatever the fucking reason they had. I just thought it was so funny because I just didn't give a shit. But it's the market, you know.
2 minutes, GP.
So what we're like, so Oracle's earnings is tonight, and what you're seeing right now in everything that's not Oracle is buyers are stepping into the software space. They did in Microsoft and CRM, in TTD and Palantir slightly. I'm not looking at crowd or anything like that, but I'm assuming it's the same across the board there. So maybe they are forecasting that Oracle is finally going to break out of this downtrend. And if that's the case, I think your bid to software starts to get
taco man. Yeah.
Well, what we saw over the last month and a half in software has been accumulation, right? In heavy amounts. And at some point they're going to want to trim out this stuff. So the only way they can trim that out is if they start marking it up. And to mark it up, they're going to have a catalyst. Oracle could be that catalyst, could be anything else, but this is more technical than anything else. But that's the thought that's been happening in my head for the last 5 minutes. So don't hold me to it. It's not a well thought out thought, but watching software recover their losses from this morning, with Oracle sitting, and Oracle could also be the reason everyone sells out after buying. So if that happens, game over for software. But
yeah, another leg down.
Yeah. So it can go either way, but
I don't want another leg down.
Or
I don't think you can have another leg down personally in software, because software, this leg down was the final flush, right? It's been in a downtrend ever since ChatGPT. Take a look at IGB overall since 2023, right? It's been sideways for the most part.
Yeah.
We're looking at the same chart.
Huh?
From 2023?
Well, it's at the same place as it was.
I mean,
it's sideways, is what I'm saying.
More like 2024.
This is the same price in IGB that we tagged last week or 2 weeks ago that we tagged in 2021. It's all-time highs from 2021 as well, right?
Well, 2023 was the bottom of the bear market. So, like, I hear you on 2024. And if you're going back to 2021, sure, we can say it's sideways from there too. Hey, before we go, Stock Dippy Daddy wanted. How about both of your takes on Tesla, real quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
I think if you're looking at Tesla, I think the monthly chart is kind of the chart to pay attention to. It's sitting on, so like on my monthly, I've got the 12 and the 18 month on, and it's kind of just sitting teed up on on the 12 and 18 month, period moving averages on the monthly. It's kind of like, it's not, I would imagine kind of, you're, even looking at the daily, it's like, if you're getting involved in areas that are extreme, sure, but otherwise you're trapped in a range. Even on the daily, like you're sitting at between 390, 480, that's your range. Until it kind of breaks one of those two, it's, range bound money. I still like the setup on it on every time frame. The weekly and the monthly, obviously, more than anything. Why did I keep pulling up the cues? I would like to see it hold this kind of 380, though. I don't want to see another push lower.
I agree. It has to hold 380 something ish. GP, it goes when it goes.
Yeah, pretty much it goes when it goes. I think this week is always a possibility because it's taken out last week's open already. It's taken out last week's close already. It's only Tuesday, 1 p.m. But it's Tesla. It is controlled by flow outside of catalyst. The only way Tesla ever breaks out of any of this stuff is a gap and go. Yeah. It's been that way for a better part of the last 15 years. You gotta like the reason why gap and goes work for Tesla is because it's so controlled by options flow daily. And I'm talking about not like someone buying 100 shares. I'm talking about people buying thousands and thousands of naked puts or naked calls. Like you need notional values in the billions to support this. And so when it has to be a gap and go because then those people are forced to cover and that's what takes it higher. It's a squeeze play ultimately, which is why it's done nothing for 5 years, right?
Unless there's just some fabulous catalyst that comes along that we haven't really seen yet. I mean, we know he overpromises everything, but
this is the thing, right? Even with a catalyst, it hasn't had the move. Elon, for the first time in the history of being a felon, has delivered something before. He literally, even if it was just one, he delivered a cybercab and through production 2 months before or 3 months before it was actually supposed to go into production and still no reaction, right? So I don't know what the reaction will be if oil going to 120 can't break out EV makers or solar spaces. So it's something to watch, but it's a flow conversation. As soon as the flow starts to dictate it can go higher, it will. But if you watch the flow in Tesla every morning, they come out and sell thousands and thousands of calls. And now you have Monday, Wednesday, Friday calls, right? So options, I mean, not calls, but.
Last words, I'll go first. Happy birthday to my oldest. It's his birthday. It's also Mrs. Bags and I's anniversary. So happy anniversary, honey. Love you, son. And just so grateful to be a husband and father.
Well, shit. I don't got anything like that. I guess just, welcome to week 27. Let's just hope we resolve this fucking range to the upside here and kind of start to see the market start trending again. Make trending great again. That sounds like a great way to end it.
Yeah. GP.
Happy birthday, happy anniversary, and happy daylight savings time, guys. It's nice to not finish the markets and be surrounded by darkness after being in the darkness in these markets all the time.
Love you. Love you, chat. Thanks for everybody showing up. Nice turnout today. Appreciate all the questions, all the first timers, all the first time watchers. Hey, if you can do us a favor and hit that like button or subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow on StockTwits Community Rip Live. And what time is that, Nick? What time is the show?
Noon Central.
No, 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Noon Central's right.
No, it's not. We only talk about American time on this show. 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there. Love you. Bye.